God bless you, loved ones. Welcome to the Word with Chester. Today we'll continue studying the 25th chapter of the book of Exodus. I do thank God that you're with us today. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and how much I love you with the love of the Lord. For our newcomers, let me pause to let you know what we're doing. We're teaching through the Bible, verse by verse and chapter by chapter. We started with the Gospel of St. Matthew and went completely through the New Testament. Now we are in the Old Testament. God is blessing this ministry, and I want you to know that I appreciate you, all of you that take of your valuable time to watch this ministry. I want you to know that we're here for you. If you would like to contact us for any reason, at the conclusion of this session, I will give our contact information, but I encourage you to write us or contact us by email. Let us know that you are listening. Also, if you have questions about this ministry or questions about our subject matter, please don't hesitate. I would love to hear from you and do all that I can to answer your questions. I'm here to pray for you, and I will tell you this: if you send a prayer request to this ministry, not only will I be praying, but every listener in our network and all over the World Wide Web will be praying for you that God will answer your prayers. Well, in our last study, we read down to verse 22 of chapter 25. Today we'll begin our reading in verse 23 of chapter 25 and read to the conclusion of the chapter. This will be somewhat of a short lesson. We will do a lot of reading today. What God is actually doing now, He's dressing or fixing up all of these things that are going to go in the tabernacle where He promised to meet the people, meet those that worship, and He's doing and giving instructions of how they should build. He talked about, and we talked about in our last session, the Ark of the Covenant and the mercy seat, and here we're going to go on, and He's going to let them know how to construct other furnishings that will go into this tabernacle or to where He had promised to meet them. Let's read in verse 23. It reads, "Thou shalt also make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit for a cubit and a half the height thereof." Well, giving it the dimensions, how they should build it, the shape it's supposed to be, all of these things. In verse 24, "Thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a rim of gold around about." Well, can you understand? God is dressing this place up, and He's not just using little shoddy things, but He is using pure gold to dress His house where He had promised to meet the people. Well, you got to understand, I don't understand myself why people get all upset because of nice churches and things of that nature. It's not all about God. God does not have to have all the artifacts. God is a spirit. He doesn't need a building at all, but He does so many things for us, because when we walk into a grandeur place and a place that almost takes our breath away, we get in a different attitude about ourselves, and we can really enter into worship because a lot of it has to do with our own mindset and how we think. Now, God, He had them make this, all of these things that went into this place of worship. Now, remember the Ark of the Covenant, the mercy seat, all covered, layered in gold. Even the acacia wood was laced in gold that went in to carry the Ark of the Covenant and the other furnishings. Can you understand how expensive and how grandeur this was? That's one reason I don't get upset about beautiful churches. Most of you like to go and worship in something beautiful. I'll be honest, I've been in ministry a long time, and I watched the mindset of people and their attitude. A little church that ain't got nothing, doesn't seem to have anything. The Spirit of God can dwell there, but people frown on it. Why? Because it's not big, beautiful, and grandeur. But I want you to know God's Spirit can be anywhere. Many times He dresses a place up, not for Himself, but for us, so that we would have a respect for it, and we won't be. Our mindset won't be that of belittling when we go to a place. So I don't knock beautiful churches and things of that nature. If God supplies the means for them to build a beautiful edifice, I'm not angry at them. I think it's a good thing. If God blesses me with that type of finances, I would invest in building a nice house of God. I wouldn't tell you that I would get crazy with it and go out outlandish and spend money that I really don't need to spend. But whatever God put me in charge of, I want it to be as nice as possible, as nice as I can afford, so that those that come will be comfortable there, and you won't be ashamed to invite your relatives or your friends to come and worship in the place. Well, God is dressing this place up to where it is a beautiful place. The furnishings are overlaid with complete gold. Can you understand what I'm saying? How beautiful these things are. Let's read verse 24 again. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereunto a rim of gold round about. And thou shalt make unto it a border of an handbreadth around about, and thou shalt make a golden rim to the border thereof around about. Can you understand how beautiful this thing is? This is the table of showbread now that he is having constructed. In verse 26, and thou shalt make for it four rings of gold, and put rings in the four corners that are in the 4 feet thereof. Well, he's letting them know, this is what I want you to do. Remember what the rings were for in the Ark of the Covenant. He's doing the same thing here for this table of showbread. Verse 27 read, over against the border shall the ring be for places of the staves to bear the table. Same concept as the Ark of the Covenant. Let's read in verse 28. And thou shalt make the staves of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with it. This is the way I want you to do it. In other words, so that when you need to move it, there's a way to move it. You got to understand, anything that God has to do with, you have to handle with care. You can't just go put your hands all over it and handle it any kind of way. God designed a method for them to even move this table of showbread by putting the rings on the four corners of it, and the staves that went in the rings, they were to hold the staves to move it. You can get one person on each corner of the table on the staves to pick it up. That way they didn't have to touch the table itself. Well, let's read in verse 28 again. And thou shalt make the staves of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, the spoons thereof, and the cover thereof, the bowls thereof, with which to pour. Of pure gold shalt thou make them. Can you understand? This is pure gold that they're making, even the utensils that went on the table. Get that picture now. Pure gold. Number one, pure gold will last, and also pure gold is also beautiful. Can you see what God is doing? Even the utensils that will be on the table of showbread, let them be pure gold. Can you see that? Do I need to read 29 again? And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, the spoons thereof, and the covers thereof, and the bowls thereof, which to pour of pure gold shalt thou make them. And thou shalt set upon the table of showbread before me always. These utensils, they're going to be, I want them on this table forever before me. This is the word of the Lord. You got to understand, these are not the words of man. These are the words of God, where God is instructing Moses how to build and do everything in his temple. And thou shalt set upon the table of showbread before me always. These artifacts or these utensils, you're going to have them there and set them there before me always. Let's read verse 31. And thou shalt make a lampstand of pure gold, of beaten work. Shall the lampstand be made, its shaft and its branches, its bowls, its knobs, and its flowers shall be of the same. Can you understand what he's saying? Now, a lampstand where one stand that it stands on, but it has many branches coming out, where lights and lamps are on. We're going to get instructions. God has given instructions on how to do this. Shall I read that again? And verse 31, thou shalt make a lampstand of pure gold. It's pure gold, not just part gold or overlaid gold. A lampstand of pure gold, of beaten work shall the lampstand be made. Its shaft and its branches, its bowls, its knobs, and its flowers shall be of the same. It's all pure gold. Verse 32. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side. Can you understand? The lampstand, the branches are those parts of the lamp that can't come out, that the light or the lamp sets on. Shall we read verse 33? 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knob and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knob and a flower. So in the 6th branch that come out of the lampstand. Can you see how beautiful this lamp is? Use your mind and picture it now. A lamp coming out, and here we got 3 branches coming out one side, and the 3 bowls, the lampstand, and 3 coming out on the other side. How beautiful and grandeur this thing is. Verse 34, and in the lampstand shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knobs and their flowers. It's beautiful now. 3, shall I read that? Shall be 4 bowls made like unto an almond, with their knobs and their flowers. Get that picture, how beautiful this lampstand is. Verse 35, and there shall be a knob under 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the lampstand. It sounds like we're repeating ourselves in verse 35, but he's letting you know specifically that each branch, I want it to be identical. I want it to be out of the same. Let me read 35. I want this clear to you, what he's saying. He's not being repetitive, but he's making plain that he wants them to be identical. In verse 35, and there shall be a knob under 2 branches of the same, and a knob under 2 branches of the same, and a knob under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the lampstand. In other words, each branch coming out, I want it to be identical. Let's read in verse 36. Their knobs and their branches shall be of the same. All it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. Get that, one beaten work of pure gold. In other words, your craftsmen have to design this thing and take that gold and sculpt this entire lamp, one piece of work. Not doing a piece of work over there and a piece of work over there and then coming together and assembling it, but one piece of work with all of these things and all the branches coming out. This is what the Lord is speaking and telling him. Shall I read 36 again? And the knobs and their branches shall be the same, and it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. One beaten work of pure gold. Let's read verse 37. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamp thereof, that they may give light beyond it. In other words, when they light this lamp, it'll give out enough light, it'll give light beyond it. It will be able to light more than one just small area. The light would protrude and the light would go and light a large area. I'll read 37 again. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, and they may give light beyond it. Verse 38. And the tongues thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof, shall be of pure gold. Can you understand? He's making everything gold and beautiful. In verse 39, of a talent of pure gold shall he make it with all these vessels. A talent, that's a unit of measurement. A unit of measurement. A talent of pure gold shall he make it with all these vessels. Get the picture now in verse 40. And see that thou make them after their pattern, which was shown thee in the mountain. In other words, I'm giving you directions on how to do it. You see that they build it like I say. Well, this is what God is telling Moses. Many times God gives instructions and we want to add our little 2-bit ideas to it and try to make it better in our eyes. But when God gives you instructions, do what God told you to do. You don't have to add nothing to it. You're not supposed to add anything to it. Why? Because God, He knows what He's doing all the time. And He gave instructions for the lampstands. Well, let's go back. He gave instructions for the Ark of the Covenant, gave instructions for the mercy seat, gave instructions for the table of showbread, gave instructions for the lampstands. All of these things He gave instructions for, and how beautiful it is, and how beautiful that all the things in the house of the Lord is, and how beautiful they should be in the house of the Lord, even where you serve. No, I don't think you ought to throw away large sums of money, but you ought to do the very best with what you have, using frugal methods and the methods that you need to make God's house as beautiful as possible. Number one, His presence is going to be there, and then you're going to come in there to worship Him. So let's make it as nice as possible. Well, I want you to know we're going to talk about even more things as we go into the next chapter. We're going to talk about the curtains and the linens and all these things in the house of God. I want you to know it's important to do whatever anything God is in. Give it your best, give it your all to make it what it should be, and God will bless you. I want you to know that I love you, my friends. I love you with the love of the Lord. If you would like to contact me for any reason, you can write me at the Word with Chester Ministries, Post Office Box 200483, San Antonio, Texas 78220. You can also reach me at my website, www.poemsbychester.com. Always remember, please purchase our work. You will be blessed. I'll tell you, your stereo will enjoy this. You will enjoy it. Everyone who listens to it will enjoy it because it is a good piece of work. This is an album that I created. You can buy all of our work on iTunes, Amazon.com, TuneCore, or anywhere They sell music on the World Wide Web. Just go to these entities, TuneCore, iTunes, Amazon.com. Key in my name, Chester L. Figure Sr., and all of my work will come up, and you can listen to it. They'll have samples for you. If you like it, please purchase it, and you will be blessed thereby. Remember, I love you, my friends. I love you with the love of the Lord. God bless you.